One.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Tellor community call, July 6th, 2021. Should be a relatively straightforward community call. We're kind of in building mode, I guess you could say. We're growing the team, we're growing a lot of the products, and we're just, working hard. So, I know with as far as like formal announcements go, probably not a whole lot today. But I was just going to talk a little bit about Tellor X and kind of what we're going over and what we might want some of your feedback on as a community. But before that, you guys probably noticed a new face here. We just hired another new developer. I know you guys got to meet Chris and Sean recently, but now we hired Josh. Josh is going to be a new developer for us. Josh, want to say a little bit about yourself? As much or little as you want, up to you.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everybody. I'm Joshua. I recently graduated from Lambda School. And I'm just very excited for this opportunity to just start getting a deep dive into cryptocurrencies and stuff, and just really excited to learn and be an asset to the team.
And I apologize. Is it Joshua?
I honestly don't mind either way. I respond to both.
Okay. Cool. And you're complete.
If you're mad at me, you can call me Joshua, like my mom, if you want to do that. That way I can know.
I say the same thing. Like, I respond to both, but if someone says Michael, it'll really get my attention because I just hear my mother.
Exactly.
My wife.
Cool. And you're a complete newbie to crypto, right?
Yes. Just bought my first Ethereum last week.
Right.
Josh is supporting the price himself.
Exactly.
Doing a good job. As a newbie in crypto, you can't say Tellor or Ethereum. If you have to buy one other coin, what do you buy?
Bitcoin.
Okay.
I mean, that was easy, but
yeah. And any other ones strike your interest?
I've heard a lot of the Doge, but I don't really know too much about it, and I don't know if that's just a hyped up thing. I'd have to look more into it, but definitely in the community circles that I'm a part of, everybody keeps going like the whole like rocket hands to the moon thing that I'm definitely have to get used to with Doge and all that. So
yeah,
I'll have to see.
No, crypto is a cool space because you'll notice there's like a developer community, and then there's like a price community, like an investing, and the two don't talk to each other. It's relatively separated, so you can have a lot of good development and discussions going on in research land, and it's almost like segregated from the price talk, even though the price like funds it, obviously. So
yeah.
Anyway,
funny when speculators do talk to developers, it's not like they really want to know more about how your protocol works. They just want to know, like, when's the next news event? So
yes,
I might trade.
Gotcha.
So you'll start to as a coming on. Josh is going to be doing a little bit of front end at the beginning, and then he'll be, learning Solidity in the process. And yeah, I mean, front end builds are really, really tough in crypto because just interacting with the blockchain is hard, but then you also have this issue of, well, who is your user? You have like the people who are actually using your protocol, but then you have the vast majority of people who are just going to hit your website because they're investing in your token and want to see if it works. So then, you almost want like a splash page with things that go deeper, and then you'll have like the really advanced users that want to, look at transaction details and really get in the weeds and want a lot of data. So it's like a really, you don't necessarily know who you're building it for. And sometimes things that you think are purely going to be for a user end up being more useful for, say, monitoring by the token holders or something like that. So
awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, we're super excited to have you and welcome to the team.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here. Let's do it.
Yeah. On Tellor X. So if you guys know, you guys can follow along in the repo. the Tellor X development's kind of underway. So we have some compiling contracts, and we've gotten some good feedback on the white paper so far. Most people seem to kind of just be fans of the overall thing in general. A lot of people talk about the inflation aspect. So this is one, a lot of the people on Telegram will talk how inflation is going to go down a lot because we're going to be reducing the mining rewards that we're printing. And this is reporter rewards, I guess they'll be called. I don't know. It's true that inflation will initially be going down, but don't necessarily think of it like that. Like it's the protocol, since we're moving towards more of a DAO structure, we're going to be able to vote on these things. So it's going to be we're going to want to move the levers a lot, and we want to engage the community to move the levers a lot. We don't want it to be one of these things that we set and just forget about. If inflation seems too low and we can use inflation to help grow the network, we want to do that. And then in the same way, although we're only on Ethereum, if every new chain we move to, if we want inflationary rewards on those chains, that also increases in the overall inflation. We also have thrown around the idea for a long time of a grants program funded through inflationary rewards. So we can, there's a lot of different things that we can use this money for. And although, yes, initially the inflation is going to be going down, it's much more of a community thing. It's up to us how high we want the inflation to be. So you can't necessarily say a blanket statement of like, oh, thank God when Tellor X comes, inflation is going to go down to 1% forever. It's like, no, probably won't. So just keep that in mind. We don't want to make it seem like we're pulling wool over your eyes whenever it comes to the inflation rate. The other things, we also we're kind of going through a lot of the discussions that a lot of other DAOs have already had as we're actually starting to build it. And one of those comes to mainly just voting. What's the best way to do it? So we have voting in the Tellor system. Currently, people can go on Tellor Scan and they can vote on different things. And we're adding in delegation, so you can delegate to somebody else. But the question is always, are there better ways to do this? So a lot of people have thrown around the idea of snapshot. So that's like where you do kind of just off-chain votes. The only problem with that is so nothing's actually enforced on chain with those. It's just like feeling out the community. And maybe that is something that we would want to do more of. I don't know how you guys feel about them. So we could feel out the community, especially if a lot of the stuff is delegated to us. Can we just feel out the vote that way? You guys can just kind of signal to us who are, let's say we get 20% of the total supply delegated to us to vote. We can just vote on your behalf and don't waste your gas on an on-chain vote because it's going to most likely pass, like unless you think we're being malicious or something, it'll probably pass. So just you're okay with it. And then we get more participation on the off-chain side. Because we want people, you want people in your system, like, even if it is for just like, okay, vote through this confirmation that this was a bad ID. You want people in there. You don't want, like, yes, you probably agree that, yay, Tellor team's on top of it. We don't have to vote on it. But you want people paying attention and voting just because it's, community involvement. The less you sort of involve yourself and make it feel like something you do on a weekly or monthly basis, the less you're going to do it when it actually comes down, the less people are monitoring it and the more kind of centralized the control gets. So that's something we're working on, is just, is there a better way to structure even the on-chain code so that we can get better participation? And I don't know. And the other thing is, like with delegations, we've talked a little bit about, should you be allowed to delegate to somebody else? And you can do that, but then should they be allowed to then delegate? So if you give it to your friend and then he gives it to us, do we have control over your tokens? A lot of people would say yes, but then also, like, is there a potential for something to go wrong there. Is it less straightforward than just like, no, you have to manually do it to us to make sure that there's some transparency there? I don't know. That's one thing we're also thinking about, and I don't think there isn't a right answer for any of this stuff. It's just things that we can think about, and that way whenever people ask us, in 6 months, whenever it's live, we all have an answer. And the last thing that's really kind of been on my mind a lot with the coding is, so as you guys know, everyone will stake, and then you get a report a value, and then you're locked out of the system for 12 hours. 12 hours is a variable. Right now we have it up for a vote. Is there a way to automate that? To say 12 hours is some function of how many reporters are in the system? Or, the lockout period is, you can look at like the number of locked out reporters, and then it could, like, you're locked out for, if there's 1,000 reporters, then you're locked out for, a lot longer than 12 hours. But if there's only 5, then you're not locked out at all. And you could automate it. But then the question always becomes how, well, like, is there a potential attack vector there? As far as, could somebody just stake 1,000 reporters with no intention of actually ever reporting on them? And then, the honest 50 of us are all, they're all locked out forever. I don't know. That's another open question for me, because, like, I think initially what we'll probably do is just leave it up to a vote, and we'll play around with it. But that'll be something that we'll want to tweak it a lot. So, like, initially we're going to start at 12 hours. Like, hopefully that's, hopefully we don't, like, freeze the entire system by making it too long. Hopefully we can get some people on reporting, and obviously, like, we won't freeze the whole system, because, like, we obviously have an idea of how much we're going to go over there and start reporting ourselves. And if you assume that the other people will as well, there should be plenty of reporters initially. But my fear is that, if you get too many reporters, then, like, nobody's getting any rewards. We're wasting all of our money on just these gas races. So you'll want to increase that time to, say, 15 hours, 20 hours, and have it all kind of automated. So those are the open discussions on my mind that we're currently testing out. If you guys have any feedback, even you guys on the team, definitely let us know. So that's really other than that, I mean, the other stuff is really super simple. As far as coding it up, Tellor X is, the way that we designed it, it was relatively easy to code. Nothing, if you're even into Solidity, as a novice, you should be able to go through the code, and it should all make sense to you. And we wanted it that way. We're not doing any fancy math or anything. So, okay, that's it from me on the Tellor X piece. Kind of through it all, just remember, as we're building Tellor X, it's more about how can we build a community of people who care about these values and the integrity of them. So, Mike, on to you for questions.
Thanks, Nick. I think I'm still stuck on your lovely face. I'm gonna switch to gallery view here. So we just have 3 questions today. Pretty standard, some of the usual here. In the near future, can we stake TRB without being a miner? You heard Nick say stake earlier when he was talking. We're trying to move away from stake as a word, and you'll notice in the Tellor X white paper we use the word bond. I think that's a little bit more accurate, but they're kind of synonymous. But we won't have proof of stake like my guess is this person is asking a question about just being able to lock your TRB away and earn some passive rewards. And this is not something that we are pursuing with Tellor X. But you will be able to lock some TRB away, whether that's 100 TRB or whatever we settle on in terms of the amount for being a data reporter. But yes, TRB holders will be able to lock some amount of TRB away and participate as a data reporter, which is not the same as mining, but it's going to be pretty similar. So it will still take a little bit of effort on your part, and you'll have to learn some software and you'll have to maintain it. But our goal is to make that much more accessible. So if you have no experience mining any proof of work coins, that's fine. I think our goal is to get some of you people participating at a greater degree. So, so yeah, keep on holding that TRB, and when the time comes, we'll have all the information available to hopefully make it really easy for you guys to participate and earn some rewards by being a reporter. Let's see here, got a new one. Hello, I'm Christian from the Netherlands. My question is, how do you see your company growing in the next 2 years from now? Thanks, and keep up the great work. I'll just go ahead and take this one, Nick. I think we answer this one every week. And I think you pretty much touched on it. It's really going to be about, I mean, 2 years is a long time, but in our near horizon, it's really about launching Tellor X and growing our community to being like a robust group of participants, of users, data reporters, voters in our system, and just really sort of growing into that DAO structure and learning along the way. So as we pull all those levers that Nick was talking about, we're gonna learn a ton in terms of what Tellor X is really capable of. How much can a DAO really affect its own sort of ecosystem through participation? So, and the other side of that is just becoming the best Oracle we can be and growing our number of users. So yeah, it's really
growing the number of users is a big one, and getting people to care. 2 years is such a long time.
Along the way too, that we're always thinking about new products, and we do still have Chorus on our mind. Obviously, we're really focused on Tellor X right now. That's the most important piece, but growing Chorus is something I could see us putting a lot more energy towards too eventually as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Next one is when airdrop. Probably never. We're not huge fans of airdrops here if you're a newcomer. And the last question is, will there be an investment in the market zone? Does anybody have any idea what that means?
Probably the marketing department.
Oh, zone. Okay, I see. Well, here we go. We have an investment in some human capital here. I missed last week. I was on vacation, but I think, did we do an intro to Sean last week?
Yep.
I probably watched it, but I've been intro to you, Sean, several times now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Sean is our investment.
Yeah, Sean here is our new head of marketing, and he's a rather large investment from Tellor into putting a lot more energy into the marketing aspect of what we do. So we've heard your calls for more marketing for a long time, and we've been looking for the right person for a long time, and we think we found somebody really great. So we're excited to have you here, Sean.
Yeah, excited to just grow the awareness of Tellor, which is really our, the core goal for marketing, like we've all talked about. So yeah, we're doing a lot of things. So keep your eyes out.
Cool. And that's it from here. Have anybody in the chat? So that's it.
Cool.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. And then next week will be fun. We're going to have a presentation from Chris. So get ready for it, everyone.
Pressure's on, Chris.
Yes.
We'll see how it goes. I think it'll be fun though.
Yeah, that's the right attitude. I like that. Just shoot from the hip.
Yeah. All right. See you, everyone.
Yeah.
See ya.